The setting and atmosphere, the quiet, warm atmosphere of the bar, which had been a refuge for Emily and Jack's growing connection, is suddenly pierced by the entrance of Daniel. The door creaks open, and rain-soaked Daniel steps inside, breaking the intimacy and calm that had enveloped Emily. This physical intrusion mirrors the emotional intrusion Daniel's presence causes. His arrival is not just a random event. It symbolizes Emily's past catching up with her, threatening to pull her back into a place of confusion and hurt just as she's starting to move forward. Daniel's character and motivations. Daniel appears tense and conflicted. He is soaked from the rain, which visually aligns him with Emily's earlier state, both physically and emotionally weathered. His jaw is clenched, showing frustration, pain, or perhaps regret. This physical description primes the reader to understand Daniel as a complex figure, someone who is struggling as much as Emily, but in a very different way. His first words, "Can we talk?" are simple, yet loaded. It's an attempt to open a dialogue, to bridge the emotional distance between them. There's also a subtle desperation. He admits he has been trying to reach her and couldn't find her. This implies he has unresolved feelings and possibly hopes for reconciliation. The emotional confrontation. Miley's reaction to Daniel's arrival is guarded. Her voice, strained but firm, questions why he is there. The bar, this place of healing and new beginnings, becomes a battleground for old wounds. Daniel's presence brings a clash of emotions: anger, disappointment, sorrow, and lingering affection. He mentions her spending nights at the bar, which hints at jealousy or resentment. His tone is challenging, implying he sees Jack as an obstacle or rival. Emily responds with quiet strength. "This is where I remembered who I was." This line is powerful. It asserts that she is reclaiming herself, not clinging to the past, and that her time with Jack and the bar represents growth and healing. This sets a clear boundary between her past life with Daniel and her emerging new self. Jack's role as protector and supporter. Jack's decision to step back and give them space speaks volumes about his character. He doesn't need to intervene aggressively, but simply shows respect for Emily's process. His calm and quiet demeanor contrasts with Daniel's tension, emphasizing Jack as a steady and caring presence in Emily's life. The way Daniel glances at Jack suggests he perceives Jack as a threat. This dynamic introduces an undercurrent of romantic rivalry, but it is handled with subtlety rather than confrontation. Jack's role is not to fight Daniel, but to support Emily's emotional autonomy. Emily's declaration and strength. Emily's statement to Daniel, "You already ended it, Daniel. You just didn't notice." It's a key emotional moment. It reveals that Daniel has failed to recognize the reality of their separation, possibly because he was unwilling or unable to fully face it. This line carries a mix of sadness and empowerment. Sadness, because the relationship failed, and empowerment, because Emily is finally claiming her truth and refusing to be pulled back into old patterns. Her voice trembling underscores the emotional pain of saying this aloud, showing that while she is strong, she is not unscathed. This vulnerability makes her deeply relatable. Many people have had to voice difficult truths in moments of heartbreak, the emotional tension and release after a tense pause. Daniel's nod and departure in the rain symbolizes a form of acceptance. He doesn't fight back or argue. Instead, he quietly acknowledges the end and leaves. This exit is significant because it allows Emily to reclaim her space emotionally and physically. The rain outside continues to act as a symbol, washing away the remnants of their shared past and marking a kind of cleansing or rebirth for Emily. Jack's reassurance and emotional insight. After Daniel leaves, Jack remains by Emily's side and offers quiet reassurance. His words, "Sometimes we need to face the past before we can move forward," encapsulate a profound truth about healing and personal growth. Jack's presence here is more than comforting. It is grounding. He helps Emily see that acknowledging pain and confronting difficult truths are necessary steps toward healing. His support is gentle but firm, reinforcing that she doesn't have to face her challenges alone. The emotional shift this moment marks a turning point for Emily. Before Daniel's arrival, she was cautiously opening up to new possibilities, and healing his presence threatens to pull her back into old wounds and confusion. But by facing him and standing firm, Emily proves to herself and the reader that she is ready to move on. The emotional shift is subtle but powerful. Emily moves from hesitation and sadness toward bravery and self-awareness. She begins to reclaim her identity and her life on her own terms. Themes explored in Part 31: closure and moving. On Part 3 focuses on the difficult process of gaining closure. Emily and Daniel's conversation highlights how closure isn't always neat or easy. Sometimes it requires confrontation, honesty, and the courage to say goodbye even when it hurts. 2. Emotional strength and vulnerability. Emily's strength is not about shutting down her feelings, but about facing them openly. Her vulnerability, her trembling voice, her honest words makes her stronger, not weaker. 3. Healing through boundaries. Emily sets a clear boundary with Daniel, signaling that her life is changing and that she will no longer be pulled into old patterns. This boundary is essential for emotional healing. For the role of support. Jack's role emphasizes the importance of having someone to lean on during hard times. His presence is a reminder that healing often happens with others, not in isolation. Character development in Part 3. Emily, she grows significantly in this part. From a woman caught between the past and the future, she steps firmly toward the future by standing up to Daniel. This moment of confrontation, while painful, is empowering. Shows Emily reclaiming her voice and her life. Daniel. He is portrayed as conflicted and regretful, but ultimately resigned. His inability to fully let go before leads to tension, but he doesn't fight aggressively when faced with Emily's strength. This shows his human complexity. He is not a villain, but a flawed man caught in his own pain. Jack. His quiet support and respect for Emily's autonomy deepen his role as her emotional anchor. He is not an intruder, but a protector, someone who holds space for her growth without pressure or judgment. Emotional impact on the reader. The arrival of Daniel creates a dramatic and emotional tension that many readers will recognize. The difficult moment when the past threatens to disrupt healing. The dialogue is raw and real, capturing the complexity of ending a relationship filled with history and pain. Emily's bravery in this scene invites empathy and admiration. Readers who have experienced heartbreak or difficult separations will resonate with her courage and vulnerability. Jack's calm and gentle presence provides emotional relief and hope, balancing the heaviness of the confrontation with the promise of new beginnings. Symbolism. The rain continues to symbolize emotional cleansing and renewal, washing away the past as Daniel leaves. The bar, a safe haven, a place of transformation that contrasts with the emotional storm Daniel's arrival brings. Emily's voice, her trembling voice, symbolizes the emotional cost of healing, but also the power of speaking one's truth. Returning to the intimacy of the bar scene opens with Emily and Jack alone in the bar once again. The atmosphere is quiet, intimate, and filled with soft light, symbolizing warmth and safety. After the storm, both literal rain and emotional turmoil, this setting feels like a sanctuary. The bar has transformed throughout the story from a mere place to drink, to a refuge, and finally to a place of new possibilities. Emily's presence here is no longer one of escape, but of conscious choice. She has stayed after everyone else left, not because she's running away from life, but because she's starting to face it with openness and courage. Emotional vulnerability and connection. Emily and Jack share a quiet conversation. Emily is still, tender, her experiences weighing on her heart, but there is a softness now where before there was heaviness. The dialogue here is understated, but every word carries meaning. It's not about big declarations, but small truths, honest admissions, and mutual understanding. Doc listens with patience, never pushing Emily, embodying the gentle presence she needs. He shares bits of his own story not to overshadow hers, but to create a sense of equality and trust. This mutual vulnerability builds a strong emotional foundation. The power of touch and presence, their connection deepens subtly through physical gestures, a touch on the hand, a shared smile, a look. That lingers. These small actions speak volumes about the emotional safety they feel with each other. Unlike a rushed or dramatic romance, their intimacy grows in quiet steps. Reflecting the maturity and depth of their characters, this slow unfolding of affection emphasizes that real connection is about being present, listening, and accepting someone as they are, scars and all. Emily's growth and new perspective Millie reflects on the night's events, the kindness of Jack and Mara, the confrontation with Daniel, and the fragile dance of hope and fear. She realizes she is no longer the woman who walked into the bar feeling lost and broken. There is a growing sense of strength, self-awareness, and readiness to embrace life again. She acknowledges that healing is not a straight path, but a winding journey. Her emotional scars remain, but they don't define her. This acceptance is a major step in her growth. Jack's gentle encouragement. The story opens late at night in a small, cozy bar named the Harbor Light, located in downtown Portland, Oregon. The setting is important because it immediately gives a sense of quiet and intimacy. It's a rainy night with the sound of raindrops tapping against the windows, a classic backdrop for moments of reflection, loneliness, and emotional change. The bar glows softly with warm golden lights, creating a safe and comforting atmosphere against the cold. Wet night outside, into this bar walks Emily Parker, the main character. From the way she enters wet from the rain, tired but holding a certain strength in her eyes, readers can sense that she is carrying a heavy emotional burden. She looks like someone who has been through a lot, someone whose life is currently full of pain and confusion. The rain on her coat reflects this, as well a metaphor for the turmoil inside. Her Emily's backstory is hinted at gently, but clearly. She is going through a painful divorce, and the papers to finalize it are sitting on her kitchen table unsigned. This detail is crucial. It shows she's caught in a moment of hesitation and uncertainty. She's not ready to fully close that chapter of her life yet. Her apartment, described as feeling like a museum of what once was, gives us a vivid image of her loneliness and heartbreak. It's a place filled with memories that now feel cold and distant. This sets up Emily's emotional state at the start of the story. She is not just physically wet and cold from the rain, she is emotionally drenched in sorrow, doubt, and fatigue. Yet, despite all that, she makes a choice to step into this bar. Not necessarily for drinking, but because she needs space, a place where she can escape the weight of her life for a little while. Inside the bar, the scene shifts focus to Jack Sullivan, the owner and bartender. Jack is a character designed to be warm and quietly strong, in contrast to Emily's current vulnerability. He is in his early 40s, with graying hair at the temples, a sign of maturity and wisdom. His smile is gentle and kind, and he has a way of understanding people without forcing them to explain themselves. This subtle kindness immediately makes Jack a trustworthy and comforting presence. The interaction between Emily and Jack is simple, but full of meaning. Jack asks if she is here late, and Emily responds with a faint smile. The conversation is brief, but intimate. He pours her a glass of red wine and asks if she's had a rough day. Emily's honest, short answer, "rough life lately," speaks volumes. She's not just talking about a single day's troubles. She's admitting that her whole life feels difficult right now. Jack doesn't push for more details, which shows his respect for her privacy and emotional space. He simply offers companionship in the form of a glass of wine and a silent understanding. This moment of quiet empathy is very important. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic words. It's about small acts of kindness that make someone feel seen and less alone. The bar's atmosphere reinforces this feeling. It's nearly empty, quiet except for soft music playing in the background. The scene is slow and calm, allowing space for Emily's emotions to surface without rushing or pressure. The warm lighting contrasts with the cold rain outside and creates a sense of safety and comfort. This part of the story ends with a sense of anticipation. Emily feels a slight easing of the heavy weight in her chest. It's the first time in a long while that she feels a tiny flicker of relief. The narrative hints that this night will be more than just a typical lonely night at a bar. It's the beginning of something different, something that could change her life. The phrase, "something was about to shift," leaves the reader curious and wanting to know what happens next. The scene after closing at exactly 1 a.m., Jack changes the bar sign from open to closed, signaling to the few remaining customers that the night is officially over. In many stories, this moment often means the end of the action, but here, it marks the beginning of something meaningful. Most of the bar staff begin to pack up, preparing to leave for the night. The night is almost done, and the lights are dimmed further. The atmosphere grows quieter and more relaxed as the bustle of work fades into calmness. However, Emily chooses to stay. This decision is significant, shows she is not ready to return to her solitude, not yet willing to face the emptiness waiting for her at home. She senses that this place, the bar, and the people inside might offer her something she desperately needs: connection, belonging, or simply the feeling of being seen. The invitation to help and the staff's warmth Emily offers to help clean up. A simple act that expresses her desire to be part of something, even if it's just a small gesture. She doesn't want to be a passive presence anymore. She wants to contribute, to engage. Jack laughs softly, telling her she doesn't have to help, but she insists. This back and forth is tender and casual, but shows an important shift. Emily is starting to open up and accept kindness. And Jack is allowing that in. The other staff member, Mara, adds to the warmth of the moment. Mara is described as bubbly and playful, contrasting with Emily's quiet sadness. Her comment, "Be careful. Stick around too long and this place sucks you in," is a light-hearted warning that beneath the bar's ordinary appearance lies a deeper magic. It's almost like the bar is a safe haven or a place where people's lives can change quietly but profoundly. Mara's presence helps create a small community feel. The bar isn't just a business. It's a gathering place where people share more than drinks. They share moments, laughter, and healing. The work and laughter, healing through connection as Emily. Jack and Mara clean tables, restock bottles, and wipe down surfaces. They laugh more than Emily expects. This moment is very important because it symbolizes a break in Emily's emotional walls. Her sadness and pain don't disappear, but for the first time in a long time, she experiences joy and camaraderie. The physical act of cleaning and working together represents renewal and order. It's a metaphor for Emily's internal process, tidying up her emotions, sorting through the mess inside her heart. The laughter is like sunlight breaking through clouds. It's a simple human moment, but profound in its meaning. When the others leave one by one, leaving Emily and Jack alone, the scene turns more intimate. The staff's departure is a gentle way of shifting the focus entirely onto the connection building between the two main characters. The vinyl record, setting the emotional tone. Jack puts on an old vinyl record, a classic by Billie Holiday, "I'll Be Seeing You." The choice of song is deeply symbolic. Billie Holiday's voice is soulful and nostalgic, carrying themes of longing, remembrance, and hope. The crackle of the vinyl player adds a warm, vintage feeling, making the space feel timeless and comforting. Music in stories often acts as an emotional bridge, and here it does exactly that. It invites Emily to remember feelings she might have buried under her pain, feelings of love, loss, and the possibility of new beginnings. The dance, a moment of vulnerability and trust. Jack asks Emily to dance. This moment is delicate and charged with emotion. Emily freezes at first, confessing it's been years since she last danced. This hesitation reveals her emotional state. She feels fragile, maybe even broken. Dancing is intimate and vulnerable. It requires trust and presence. Jack offers to lead, symbolizing his willingness to support her gently without pressure. Emily's acceptance of his hand shows she is willing to take a small risk, to step outside her shell. Think dance itself is slow and quiet. There is no need for words. The physical closeness allows Emily to feel comforted, safe, and connected in a way she hasn't for a long time. Her head resting on Jack's shoulder is a powerful image. It shows surrender, trust, and a momentary easing of the pain she carries. The walls around her heart begin to bend. She allows herself to feel, to be vulnerable, to hope again. Jack's whisper, reassurance and understanding. Jack whispers, "You don't have to be okay right away." This simple statement carries enormous emotional weight. It acknowledges that healing is a process, not an instant fix. It shows Jack's sensitivity and empathy. He doesn't demand anything from Emily, but offers her space to heal at her own pace. Emily's quiet reply, "I forgot what this felt like," captures her surprise at rediscovering comfort and tenderness. It suggests she's been numb or disconnected for so long that moments like this feel almost foreign. The cliffhanger, someone unexpected arrives. Just as Emily allows herself to lean in and feel hope, the door creaks open. The arrival of someone unexpected introduces tension and uncertainty. This moment is a natural cliffhanger, interrupts the tender connection, and raises questions. Who is this person? What do they want? How will this affect Emily's fragile new moment of peace? This cliffhanger works on several levels. It builds suspense and curiosity. It also mirrors real life, where moments of healing are often interrupted by unresolved past issues or complications. Emotional and thematic analysis. Part 2 is rich with emotional nuance and subtle storytelling. The focus shifts from Emily's loneliness to her gradual reawakening through human connection. The bar staff, especially Jack and Mara, symbolize community and kindness. They offer Emily not just physical space, but emotional space, a place where she can start to rebuild herself. The theme of healing through small, gentle moments is central here. The act of cleaning up, laughing, dancing, and simply being together offers a contrast to Emily's earlier isolation. The music and the dance serve as metaphors for remembering joy, trust, and intimacy.